Well, hey folks, welcome back to another video. Thanks for joining me today on this episode of Gideonstactical. I'm Aaron, and we're gonna be talking about 3 different types of portable water containers that have the potential to really work well, regardless if you're full-time RVing like we are, you're a weekend warrior, maybe you like to overland, maybe even tent camp, or self-reliance and preparedness are really important to you, and you always want several gallons of water in storage in case there is a catastrophe. And so today, we're gonna be taking a look at the Reliance 6-gallon water jug, Igloo 6-gallon water jug, and the Reliance 7-gallon water jug. But folks, I gotta tell you, one of these is a total flop and I would not recommend to anybody to use ever, whereas the other two have different capabilities that make them really strong in certain situations and weak in others, and vice versa. So I'm gonna break it all down with you guys today, show you what these capabilities are of all 3 jugs, which one you should steer away from, and which one would probably be better suited for your particular needs, depending on how you're gonna use them. If you guys know me, you know I have the potential to spill a cup of coffee from time to time. Exactly what I just did while I was taking a break for a moment before this next shot. Well, I'm gonna start out with the total waste of space jug, the one that you don't want. And that is the Reliance 6-gallon jug. Now I purchased this hoping that it would have the pour spout designed in such a way that would work really well for my vertical port that is for my fresh water tank on my RV that most RVs tend to have. And that was my hope and desire. But there are 2 things that really cause it to just not be good. The main one is that this little gasket right here, this little white guy, I don't know if you can see that right there, has the potential to fall off. I bought 2 of these. I lost one within a day on this gasket right here. So that's numero unos. Without the gasket, it's leaking all over the place. The second thing is that this short, stubby, rigid pour spout does not really fit well into my compartment. By the time that you get to a point where you're ready to pour, you've already lost about a quarter of what's inside the jug, and it's so short that it doesn't really allow you to pour properly into your freshwater tank. Also, though it does have a little grab handle portion right here, compared to the other 2, it's kind of clumsy and clunky, and it just caused a huge mess. And I ended up just having to use a funnel in order to get it into my freshwater tank, which is what I was trying to mitigate by purchasing this design. It is going to be the cheapest of all 3, coming in at around $14 usually, and I picked this one up at Walmart. You can pick these up at a lot of different places if you have to and you're desperate. They are made in Canada, but it just doesn't have the features and capability that the other 2 have, and I was really disappointed not only in losing that gasket like right out of the gate, but just in the lack of a grab handle, so it made it more awkward, as well as the other issue of just having too short a pour spout for my intended purpose and needs. But folks, before we go any further in this video, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, which happens to go really well with water. In fact, that's all you need to mix with it. And I'm talking about Health Code Complete Meal Replacement Shakes. And folks, with Ashley and I full-time RVing, a lot of times meals are like the last thing on the list, particularly like breakfast or lunch. You know, we're trying to hitch up, feed the kids, get going to the next spot. And it's very easy to either not eat anything or just try to hit, you know, a gas station or a drive-thru on the way out of town and get something that's not sustaining and not healthy. That's where Health Code Complete Meal Replacement Shakes come in, because unlike trying to grab like a protein bar or something, which sure, it's got some protein and some stuff in it, but you're left feeling really hungry and empty inside real quick. This is a true meal replacement. It's going to come with 400 calories per serving, as well as 27 grams of fat, healthy fats, as well as 27 grams of protein and 25 essential vitamins and minerals. Plus, you can't go wrong when it says made right here in the USA. And it truly does fill Ashley and I up. We'll throw it in our bottles, shake them up, down them, they taste delicious, and then we're full. It's great for those of you on the go, if you're day hiking, backpacking. And since it doesn't have any artificial ingredients, artificial sweeteners, or added sugars, it has no soy in it. It also is non-GMO, gluten-free, and keto-friendly. There's really no reason to not use health code. So we invite you guys to check out the hyperlink that we have in the description box below with the promo code for 15% off. All you have to type in is Eat with GT. That'll give you 15% off your purchase. So click that link. You can see the different flavors and options that they have available. And then when you use that promo code, it's not only going to save you money, it lets them know that we sent you over there. So go check out Health Code Complete Meal Shakes. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and get back to it. Now, I had purchased the Reliance one first, and then I saw this one, and this guy is the USA made Igloo 6-gallon. And this was about $1 more, about 15 bucks at a Walmart. And I said, well, what could I lose? I already lost a gasket on one of the two, so one of them is kind of worthless, and I need to replace it. Why not try this, and why not make a video based off of it once I've discovered my findings? Well, right away, you can see that there is a massive difference because we have a secondary grab handle, a dedicated handle on the side, which makes it a lot easier to manhandle when you're trying to pour it into your fresh water tank or other larger container that you may be wanting to pour it into. So right out of the gate, it's a lot easier to manipulate that 6 gallons of water. You may be asking yourself, why didn't you just empty this into your fresh water and then make this video? I don't know. I want to make it hard on myself. The reason that this thing is a total win if you're pouring it into, say, a vertical port like on my camper, or if you're just having to pour it a lot into larger containers, maybe you're topping off a big giant jug, you know, whatever, maybe a 55-gallon jug down in your basement that you can't move, but so you got to top it off with this, is the pour spout. This pour spout is epic and so much better than the other one. It's not only about twice as long, it's a flexible polymer, so it flexes and is able to be maneuvered a lot easier, and it has a much larger dedicated gasket that I have yet to have any issues with, whereas the other one is really loose and just does not seal very well, and obviously one of them fell off. This one has a much better gasket attached. So the combination of a much better, longer, flexible pour spout as well as a secondary grab handle really sells the Igloo for me if you're pouring it into your RV or larger container. Now, at least this one is like half full. Finally, we have the 7-gallon Reliance jug. Now again, made in Canada by the Reliance brand, and they make a lot of other shapes and sizes as well that you can take a look at. If you are liking what I'm about to show you, which I think for a lot of people, particularly if you don't really own an RV or you're looking for it as a secondary water location, you know, you don't want to have to constantly be going to the RV and you want water at your picnic table, at our campsite or whatever, that this may be a huge selling point. So one, it's about $3 more, comes in at under 20 bucks, like $17, $18 on average. And it has an extra gallon of water, so 7 gallons. So that's a big bonus. As you can see, huge grab handle on the back. So that's a huge bonus as well. But the other aspect is the pour spout. Now this pour spout is fantastic if you are looking to basically have a secondary sink on your camping trip. If you need something outside that has a valve and a nozzle that is easily able to be turned on and turned off, wow, does this thing work and function so well. So it's great for filling up your water bottles, you know, filling up the dog bowl, doing dishes and rinsing things off. It is fantastic for those type of scenarios and really does give you almost like a secondary water source outside of your camper, or if you're tent camping, it makes you feel kind of like you got your sink at home. So that's a big, big selling point. Now, the one downside is it doesn't really work for filling your freshwater tank with an RV unless you have a funnel. So we go back to the problem we had with that first one, where you can't get it because of the angle of the nozzle to go directly in there without either yourself manhandling a funnel, which I have done and can do, but it's much easier in tandem with another person. But then it becomes a 2-person job, and who's watching the kids, right? So that's where, again, the Igloo really works well with filling up your fresh water tanks. This works really well as a secondary water source, or if you don't have an RV, just using it as basically your sink at home. So those are the two, and they have different benefits that I would recommend depending on what your solution or situation may be, and I would steer away from that 6-gallon Reliance tank. Total waste of time. Well guys, there you have it. Let me see if I can do this without spilling this time. There we go. That's what my experience with these 3 water jugs has been, but I want to hear from you guys what your experience with these 3, and maybe there's another brand or design that you think I should take a look at and use in my regular rotation. I'd love to see a comment below for that, as well as just your personal experience with the Reliance as well as Igloo models that are available out there. I do invite you guys to check out that link if you're not close to a sporting goods store or a Walmart. We do have hyperlinks for you that you can check out as well, and see what they have going on here, and we just appreciate it when you use those hyperlinks. And then finally guys, check out the other video popping up. I invite you to subscribe if you're not yet a subscriber, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.